That's your job.
What's my job?
Singing.
No. Coogan just said, can you read your last 3 WhatsApps?
I can't read that, but it's fun. Okay. Scott Hamilton sent me all the press conference stuff. I much prefer that press conference format because obviously I'm here nightly. Nothing important, just had a coffee with Barry. Give me a call.
Yeah, who's that from?
That one's from Andy Bell. Yeah. The other one was from Sean O'Toole. And the other one was from Scott Hamilton. Sorry, there was one. It was the 4th one down, unfortunately, so just missed it.
We should have said 5.
I'll show you that one after.
Right, yeah, this is Joe Pugh for IFLTV. Frank, gutted that you're not in Vegas?
I love Nottingham. What are you talking about? I love the rainy day in Nottingham beats Vegas, January, sunshine, any day of the week, mate.
How do you decide? Or is it just Eddie goes, yeah, I'm going Vegas?
Flip a coin, mate.
Yeah.
We flip a coin. We do so many of these things now where we've got multiple things going on the same day. You know, some days he'll go there, some days I'll go here. I've got a very close relationship with Dalton as well. And I've probably got a slightly bigger profile in the UK compared to the US, if that makes sense. Like I'm more recognisable in the UK than I'm in the US. Not saying that in a muggy way, but do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do understand. At first I thought you were saying it in a muggy way.
I don't mean it in that way. Like Eddie is big everywhere. I am probably well known to 1,000 people in the UK over no one in America. There's my answer.
How many people in Essex do you reckon you'd have to walk past before one recognised you?
Let's do it one day.
That'd be quite funny, actually.
We'll do that. Probably like Brentwood. Take me down Brentwood High Street. We'll give it a go. How many do you think?
I don't know. I really don't know. I think it'd be a good few.
What, I'd have to walk past?
Or if we go, who
we
would
go
get
to a boxing show?
No, who'd get recognised first, you or Coogan?
Oh, Coogan all day. Yeah, but Coogan's been in EastEnders. You know, his history of being a broadcast superstar extends way beyond boxing and IFL. He's been an extra in EastEnders. He's been an extra in Hollyoaks, in Coronation Street, in Emmerdale. An extra? No, you were extra. Yeah, but you didn't have like talking lines, did you? Oh, bollocks, mate. Rise of the Foot Soldier 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6.
Right, let's talk boxing. Dalton Smith, European title fight, the belt collector, as this is being dubbed. How important was it for Dalton to get this title before he goes into those world honours? 100%.
It's something he's pushed us for throughout. It's always been a focus of his. You know, he would, as I said in the press conference, he would fight anyone tomorrow. You know, he showed in that as a pay to fight that he was ready to step up in the levels. But, you know, the European belt was important to him. We're going to get that and then go into a massive year. And I think he'll challenge for a world title this year.
Yeah, look, very highly ranked for the WBC. I know he was at the WBC convention in Hamburg at the back end of last year. That the route you're going down, the winner of that Sandor Martin fight?
Yeah, he's number 2 in the rankings. Obviously, Sandor Martin Puello takes place on March 1st in America. So he's in position for that. And I think that's the fight that makes a lot of sense for him. You know, and then he sets up huge fights and unifications for him. There's so much going on in the 140 division as well, as we know. So many fights being announced, so many fights in the pipeline. He's in a great position. He's 27 years old, as he said on the stage there. And to see what he's already done and to see the levels he's at and how he keeps improving, it's exciting about what's to come.
How confident are you that he becomes a world champion in the next 12 months?
Very confident. Yes, very confident.
2 world title holders in that division?
What, us? Yeah. It's exciting, isn't it? And Richardson Hitchens.
Of course, I'm talking about on the British side.
Oh, right. No, you made
blagged it.
You made a mistake, didn't you? And then you tried to pretend, oh, no, I meant British side. Yeah, look, Jack Catterall fights for the WBO interim. There's a chance that could be he either gets elevated if he wins, if Teofimo decides to move up, which there has been talking about previously, or the fight is for the full world title. So, you know, with him, with Richardson Hitchens, his position with the WBC, we're in a great place in the 140 division.
Harry Scarf versus Conor Walker. I think that has potential to be fireworks whilst Frank reaches for his drip.
I've got to get it in. They said it's in my contract. I have to include one drip sip in every interview.
The drip sip. Yeah, look, Conor Walker, a bit of a remarkable story since that Cyrus Patterson fight. The run he's been on, I know taking that close defeat to Crocker, but this feels like this could steal the show on Saturday.
Yeah, look, I think it's going to be a brilliant fight. I think Conor Walker's an unbelievable fighter that always brings it, always comes to fight. And I think he's going to go in there and do that with Harry Scarf. You know, Harry Scarf can box very well, we know that. But I think Conor's going to go in there and bring the fight out of him. You know, that Lewis Crocker fight was unbelievable. And look, you see Lewis Crocker's now fighting for the IBF final eliminator, you know, at 147 against Paddy Donovan on March 1st. So, you know, Conor has been on an unbelievable run. A great fight Saturday, neither of them looking past it, but it sets up massive opportunities for the winner. And I believe Conor's got everything he needs to go in there and do a job.
Speaking to a few people who probably know quite a bit more than me about boxing, Ellie Scottney in a really tough fight.
Yeah, very tough fight. You know, I said up there in the press conference, sometimes with mandatories, it can be tough to get motivated for them. You know, because you want to keep going forward, you want to move into unification fights. But this is a fight where Miyamoto is bringing something. She's also bringing energy, you know, and sometimes you need that. You know, Ellie Scottney will need that to get motivated for fights. You know, we all want something to strive for, to go to the next level. And I think Miyamoto will bring that out of Ellie Scottney. I think Ellie's looked great, you know, in her last few fights. You know, obviously secured the belts as well as the Ring Magazine title. You know, she's in a great place. She's number one in the division. So after this, it's about unifications or move up and challenge for belts at another weight, become a multi-weight world champion.
Yep, tune in live on DAZN Saturday night for the first of the double header. 12 hours of non-stop boxing?
We start at 5 p.m, we end at 5 a.m. in Las Vegas. If there was a plane quick enough to get us there, we'd all be on our way to Vegas on the Concorde, but unfortunately we can't. But a tremendous fight night. You know, Diego Pacheco, someone who's, when you look at what he's done, he's 23 years old, and when you look on the journey he's been on and where he's got to, he's number one ranked with the WBO. So that, you know, it's a bit like Dalton Smith. There's going to be an opportunity for him to fight for that world title soon, depending on what Canelo decides to do. Andy Cruz, a fighter who, you know, we believe as well could fight for a world title this year. Came straight into the pro ranks, straight into title fights. A special fighter who's got such a big future ahead of him. And then you look at the undercard there as well. You know, you got Zakim Moses, Shakur Stevenson's cousin, who we signed recently. He fought on our show a few months ago. He's back out on the before the bell section. Nishant Dev, you know, our latest Olympian signing from India. Brilliant fighter, huge nights ahead of him as well. So excited about the whole fight night, you know, and starting off in Nottingham at 5 o'clock on Saturday. DAZN Boxing around the world. It's the global home of boxing.
When are we getting an official announcement for Eubank Jr-Benn?
Let's see. Could be in 3 minutes, could be in 3 hours, could be in 3 days.
Do you know when it's going to be announced?
I know nothing, mate.
Well, you do.
What are you telling me I'm lying?
Press conference next week?
I don't think next week. But, you know, the press conference will be at some point, and it's going to be fireworks.
What do you make of the whole rehydration clause saga?
I think sometimes there's too much. I think the term rehydration clause is the wrong term. It's a second-day weigh-in. You know, just like the IBF have, just like many fights have had in the past. You know, and obviously the key day is making weight on the Friday. That's where fighters make the weight. And then, you know, you have to look. Conor Benn is coming up from 147. He's coming up 2 weight divisions. Chris is fighting at his natural weight of 160. This fight isn't at 157 like the first fight. Chris, you know, I'm not his nutritionist. I'm not in his camp. I'm not in his training team, so I can't tell you. But he's always been comfortable at 160. That's the weight he's always made. You know, he went up to 168 for a few fights, but wasn't big enough as far as I understand. It wasn't the weight he wanted to focus on. So 160 is his weight division. Conor's the one making a big jump up. You know, and I also don't think Chris is, you know, the talk about putting on, Chris isn't huge at middleweight. So I don't think it's going to be, you know, I think a lot of people are creating there's a lot more talk about that than the fact Conor Benn's coming up 2 weight divisions, in all honesty.
When Chris put the tweet out then calling Eddie and Conor rats for this rehydration clause...
Glad he didn't include me.
When do you think that is kind of to build the fight, or do you genuinely think that he disagrees with this rehydration clause?
I mean, look, he wouldn't have agreed to it if he wasn't amenable to it. You know, ultimately he's a grown-up. He's going to make his own decisions. If he didn't want to do it, he wouldn't do it. You know, in the most simple answer. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's been, everything's a negotiation in life, isn't it? Some people have moved on the weight. You know, the weight's gone from 157 in the original fight to 160 here. Things change, and you both have to agree to it, and everyone has to come to terms with it. So he wouldn't have agreed to it if he wasn't happy doing it.
His Excellency said that his desire for both the dads to be involved. Do you know anything on this? Could we see Senior involved?
I think he's outlined his, like you say, his desire to have that. Whether they will be, I don't. Look, I know Nigel's been around Conor's career for a long time. Chris Senior hasn't been so much recently, but I don't know. That's a question for them, not for me.
Last one on the fight itself. I know the reports saying that Sky were reluctant to show this fight. You've worked with Sky for a very, very long time before you moved to the zone. Knowing Sky like you do you think they would be reluctant to show this?
I think you have to answer, sort of direct that question at other people than me, being honest. It's not. I'm not going to sit here and speculate about an article that doesn't really involve me.
Is there a broadcast deal done?
It's structured like all of the events that His Excellency works on. They control the rights to the event. They'll be working through it and all those details. But it's not really for me to speculate about an article that has said things in there. You don't probably have to direct that question to other people involved with those conversations, being honest with you.
Big British undercard for this?
That would be the plan. Hopefully news soon on that. We've been working hard on it and some great fights looking like they're going to be on the card.
Could a re-signing of Liam Smith be on that card?
Oh, that would be good, wouldn't it? That would be good. Announced last night. Look, Liam Smith, someone we worked with for a number of years, a brilliant fighter, and I believe someone who never really wanted to leave the Matchroom stable. We got a great relationship with him, his whole family. Excited to have him back, and there's big fights to be made for him. When you look at the 160 division, there's so many opportunities in that division, and I don't think a lot of people would probably write Liam Smith off, being open in terms of following the Chris Eubank fight. I don't think you saw the best of Liam Smith that night. He feels he's got a lot left to offer the sport. I'm sure he does, and we believe that too. So excited about what the future holds there as well, and some big fights to be made.
If you had to give me one name right now, who do you think we'll see Anthony Joshua in the ring with next?
A heavyweight boxer. I think Tyson Fury. I think Tyson Fury comes out of retirement. That is my opinion. But I might be wrong. I've been wrong a lot of times. Maybe it's my hope. But then I spoke about Eubank Benn for 2.5 years and said it would happen eventually, and it did. So if you keep talking about it, eventually it does.
What, we're going to wait for 2.5 years?
Oh, there he is. Have you saved that picture of him up there? Yeah. Yep. Oh, he's FaceTiming. What are you doing in bed still, boy? Should be in the gym, son. Hey. Oh, mate, there's a queue. There's 30 people out the door. No, I reckon I'll do 1,000 views. Yeah, I got a lot of credit for the press conference. It said it was good to not have someone with such an ego who just keeps talking over the fighters.
Or someone without the balls to host it.
Oh, thanks very much. Anyway, sleep well. Get back to bed. You seem a bit.
By the way, good luck to your twin brother Ouizza as well.
Yeah, he's no. Don't start that. Get back to sleep. Don't want you grouchy today. All right. Speak to you in a bit.
I'm going to the gym now, boy.
All right, boy. Get up there, boy.
A brief cameo from Eddie Hearn there. Yeah, but just back to that.
Leave me alone, can he? He's got to be in everything. My whole life has got to be surrounded by things about Eddie. Oh, Eddie Hearn. Oh, you're Eddie Hearn's little fat mate. Oh, then he calls me when I'm doing it. Just let me live, mate. Honestly, just let me live, mate.
Will there ever be a time where you step out of Eddie Hearn's shadows?
Yeah, when I'm on a beach in Bali selling flip-flops. I told you a million times. I've got a 5-year plan. People think I'm lying. I'm going to be on the beach selling flip-flops. It's going to be called Frank's Flops, right? And maybe Eddie will be out there. Maybe he'll be my sales associate in the Havaiana section. Let's see.
You'll be 60 years old promoting...
I will not be this. We had this conversation the other day. He will be 60 years old promoting an 8-rounder in, I don't know, Lithuania or Kazakhstan. And I will be on a boat somewhere, jumping in the ocean in a pair of Speedos, enjoying life. And he will be working till he's about 150, mate.
No, I reckon you'll be 60 years old and you'll be promoting...
Should we have a bet?
You'll be promoting Eubank Jr versus...
Look, maybe...
It could be your child.
Yeah, maybe we'll call it Smith Eubank, and we'll just have, like, version 37 of the fight, you know.
Yeah. Just once removed, generations versus generations.
If I'm in boxing at 60,
Yeah.
I think I'll be dead at 60. I've got to be completely honest with you. I'm very, very open.
Deep.
You know, but You know, like this travelling is not a healthy lifestyle. But if I'm in boxing at 60, like honestly, come and sort of kick me out of it, because I've got a few more years, and then I'm Frank's flops on the beach.
Right, last one then. What's
Yeah.
one fight in those last couple of years that you have to make?
It's got to be Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury. If you talk about it enough times, speak it into existence, it will happen eventually. You just bore people to death, and then eventually they'll do it.
There must be a contingency plan though for AJ.
Of course, but you're asking me. You've just asked me what is the fight I would like to
Yeah, I
see.
know, but I'm circling it back round to our
yeah.
conversation before Eddie rung.
Yeah, there's loads of fights. Anthony Joshua is still in the heavyweight division. When you look at the heavyweights now that bring huge financial opportunities, it's Anthony Joshua, Alexander Usyk, and Tyson Fury, who's retired. You know, like they're still the three names that are there. So every fight is available to him. It depends about what he wants, what the right fight is, what the path is. You know, and that's what we're working through now.
Very last question. Will Anthony Joshua become
Very
a
last question.
three-time heavyweight champion?
Yes.
Frank, thank you very much.
Thank you, mate.
Cheers.
Good to see you.
I'll see you on Brentwood High Street.